So former acting executive mayor of the City of Tshwane, Abel Tau, says a lack of political will is to blame for the water crisis in Hammanskraal. This comes after an independent commission of inquiry found that the metro did nothing to provide the residents there with safe drinking water. The crisis in the part of Tshwane has spanned a period of about 16 years.
For at least 16 years, the water challenges facing this part of the Tshwane municipality have been handed over from one administration to another. And now, a new political party is hoping to help end the misery faced by the residents of Hammanskraal. An inquiry commissioned by ActionSA's Herman Mashaba is the latest body to find that the residents of Hammanskraal have been subjected to unsafe drinking water. Abel Tau, who was the MMC for Utilities and an acting executive mayor of the City of Tshwane under the leadership of the Democratic Alliance, says this is not infrastructure but a leadership issue.
The equation here, or the common factor in this problem is the people and the interests that lie within the Rooiwal and the Hammanskraal water. If you take that out, we can find a solution for Hammanskraal water. And that is what is at the heart. And unfortunately, people like myself will never be popular, because if you are looking at ensuring that you put the interests of people before, interests of individuals or politics, then it becomes the problem that we currently have. And I can stand, every time I go to Hammanskraal, it breaks my heart. But one of the things that needs to be critical, I do wish that the people who make these decisions would have the time to visit the area of Hammanskraal and actually spend time there.
Meanwhile, the inquiry found that the residents of Hammanskraal went to lengths to raise frustrations over the water challenges to the City of Tshwane, but were met with silence.
The main problem that we found was that the municipality itself did not play its part in terms of the Constitution, did not play its part in terms of the Municipal Systems Act, and it was a total neglect of the situation, because the people were complaining, and they even had to stage a march, as they said, in 2019. They're delivering some documents, and there was no response as far as that is concerned.
We sit here with a problem either of a situation where there is no political will, or there is definitely lack of interest in resolving this problem. In my time as the acting executive mayor as well as the MMC, I do think that a lot was done to try and ameliorate the situation that lasted for so long. In fact, there was a point when I made a bold prediction that by end 2020, we should be able to have the people of Hammanskraal open a tap and have clean drinkable water. Unfortunately, a lot has happened from then, from the city being placed under administration. Subsequent to that, a person like myself.
While concerns have been raised about politics being at play, the residents of Hammanskraal will for another day be without clean drinking water.
Let's have a discussion on that report now. Bring in community activist in the Hammanskraal area, that's Dumizulu, Nkwanyana, as well as ActionSA leader Herman Mashaba, both our guests. Thanks very much indeed. It's great to have you on the program. Mr. Mashaba, I know you're actually en route to the community itself. Thanks for making time. Let me begin with an unfortunate situation, which is the politicization of this matter. We've had the current mayor of the City of Tshwane, Randall Williams, saying that he refused to take part in your inquiry in some respects because he believes it's a public stunt. The thrust of his argument is that the Human Rights Commission is already looking into this issue. What's your response to that?
Well, Ayanda, and good morning to you and the listeners. I think it would really be unfortunate, and I think this is something I communicated to the mayor on Thursday when I went to give him the report, that his refusal to participate in this commission is actually an insult to people of Hammanskraal, because you can imagine a community subjected to 16 years of undrinkable water, and you take this to be a political stance. Drinkable water, it's actually a human rights issue. It's a political matter. How does he want us to deal with it? So if he believes this is a political stance, we appreciate it, because it's our responsibility as a political party to hold government accountable. Therefore, for us as ActionSA, we feel extremely proud to really be politicized in this matter, because it is a pure political matter.
Many people will still be asking, though, why have this inquiry when the Human Rights Commission is doing the exact same thing?
If you can ask the Human Rights Commission in terms of the kind of exercise that they ran, and also secondly, their report still not yet available. We ran our commission in April. The findings are already there, and with open public participation. So I think as South Africans, we've got a right. We live in a democratic environment, and I think we have to use our constitutional instruments to hold government accountable. It doesn't matter who does what, as long as at the end of the day, for us, we want justice, we want clean, drinkable water for people of Hammanskraal.
Dumizulu, let me bring you into this discussion. It's been a long time coming. This conversation has been in the public platform for several years now. Now that inquiries like this are finally getting underway, are you any confident that it will lead to material change within this community?
Thank you very much, Ayanda. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, we welcome this report, and we're grateful to have leaders like Herman Mashaba, who took a stand to say he's going to stand up for the people of Hammanskraal. We've been standing with this issue since the year 2004, which was early millennium. And, it's disappointing that we had several mayors, starting from Fathers Mangalisho Mukashwa, Gwen Ramokopa, Sipule Ramokopa, Solim Simanga, Stephen Mukhalapa, and even the acting mayor, Mr. Abel Tau. We are grateful. We welcome this report that found that the water of Hammanskraal to be of low standard for human consumption.
Speak to us about the impact that this issue has had on the community itself, Dumizulu. I mean, again, it's been over a decade with the matter largely unsolved. Do you reckon that the community can come back from this health-wise?
Having been one person who's coming from Hammanskraal, I was born and bred in Hammanskraal. I still live in Hammanskraal. My parents live in Hammanskraal. Both my parents have comorbidities. My dad is 73, my mom is 63. They both have to take medication on a daily basis. Think about the children at daycare centers who have to consume the very same water that has been declared to be unfit for human consumption. Think of school children at school who have to drink the same water that several years back, Solim Simanga came on national TV and said the water was good for human consumption. So the impact with the people of Hammanskraal is very challenging, Ayanda, because people have to now fork out money out of their own pockets to go and buy prepared water. We've been discussing this issue for far too long now. I think now approaching the Constitutional Court is the only way to go, because we don't have political will. We don't have leaders who are there to serve the people of Hammanskraal. You can imagine now, Ayanda, Hammanskraal falls under City of Tshwane, and Hammanskraal is the only township in the entire City of Tshwane that doesn't have clean drinking water. Why must it be like this, Ayanda?
Yeah. Herman, unfortunately, we live in a country that's very good at diagnosis of issues. We've had inquiries ad nauseum. It's the implementation where we usually falter. How are you going to ensure that the findings of this report don't gather dust on some shelf for another 10 years to come?
What is actually quite encouraging for me, Ayanda and people of South Africa, is actually because we've really come to realize as a country that this government is actually insensitive, generally countrywide. And I'm encouraged personally by the court rulings where every time a municipality fails to provide services, you as a community have got a right to take over the delivery of services. And so I think our approach as ActionSA is that in the event the City of Tshwane fails to implement the recommendation of the report, we will approach the court. And what we will do, we'll do the fundraising. We'll ask the court to really give us the permission to fix that plant, because fortunate enough, that plant, Ayanda, is fixable. The only way it is not fixable at the moment is because the contract awarded to fix this is given to a company by this gentleman called Sodi, who is known for the asbestos fiasco in the Free State. So not capable. Given the contract 40 million rands more expensive. Companies that were qualified to deliver services to Hammanskraal lost on this contract. So I can tell you right now, as I'm talking to you, that the contractor awarded to do this job, they have absolutely no clue whatsoever what they're doing. I don't really believe that this matter is going to really be fixed. And what we will do, we will approach the court to give us the permission to take over this project from the City of Tshwane. We will do the fundraising, we'll fix the plant.
You're en route to hand over this report, I understand, to some of the affected community members. Help us understand what you're hoping to get out of that.
Well, I think when we were running the commission, I promised people of Hammanskraal that I will personally come and lead the feedback session. So I'm en route right now to Hammanskraal, making sure that we walk street by street, house by house, making sure that we've got a summarized copy of the report. I want every household in Hammanskraal to get a report of the findings and the way forward. Yeah. So that's really what I want to really achieve. And obviously, we've got to give the City of Tshwane 90 days so that when we go to court, we can obviously demonstrate to courts the kind of efforts that we've implemented. Because right now, if we approach the courts are going to say, but what is the City of Tshwane done? So we've given the City of Tshwane 90 days, which we believe it's a fair time period for them to respond to this, because they unfortunately refuse to participate in our commission.
All right. To both our guests, thanks very much indeed for weighing on this, or weighing in rather. It really is concerning that it's a matter that's lasted this long, and one can only hope that politics can be put aside to address the issue at hand. For your insight, let me thank Dumizulu Nkwanyana. He's a community activist in Hammanskraal. ActionSA leader Herman Mashaba also joining us there. To both our guests, once again, thanks very much indeed.